Contorted Epiphany is essentially the debut demo from Vancouver, BC-based death metal slash crust punk band Incinerous. And I would emphasize death metal. There are strong crust punk and hardcore punk influences in there, but this is more in line with just Swedish death metal in the way those things naturally align. They do. The guitarist does have, or the vocalist bassist, one of the members has a death crust band that is a little bit more directly to the cut, shorter songs. These are about 3-minute death metal songs in a Swedish death metal style for the most part, without relying too much on the Boss HM2 overdrive. So I recommend this record in general if you are as interested in combinations of crust punk influenced death metal as I am, and how that applies to not only Swedish death metal but a lot of groups like Autopsy and whatnot. Beyond that, I won't have a lot to say about this, so we'll get to a clip before I run out of things to say. So at just under 20 minutes, we get essentially a reworked demo that is given album art, different track listing than their first demo, which was digital only. This is a cassette release. It's sort of been presented as a new release, even though I don't think any of the songs were fundamentally changed beyond their original versions. So the thing to know about this band, I think there's a little bit of Autopsy, a little bit of Bombs of Hades, if you know those bands. Probably the earlier side of Bombs of Hades, which came from more of a crust punk influenced sensation, a little bit of thrash in there too. And generally, there's nothing complicated about this record. Like, I could go down song by song, and you just find that I'm just really appreciating the simplicity and the efficacy of the riffs. And as we go down the track list, every song gets better. It's a little bit more complex, and by the time we reach Into Obscurity, I had to check if this was an old a cover song, because maybe it could be by Grave or something like that, but it turns out I don't think so. So a really fine result from the band as you go along, and the closer on the record is probably the most impressive piece, probably the one you want to go to straight away if you're interested in the darker, sort of pre-93 side of Swedish death metal, where there's a lot of different elements feeding into the sort of post-nihilist, pre death and roll kind of sound out of that era. Anyway, it's just a cool death metal record. It's pretty easy to pick up and enjoy. I had a great time with it. I love the death crust feeling of it, and I hope they retain that and don't normalize too much. Otherwise, really no notes. I mean, for self-produced and all that, the master certainly helped the sound in this newer version. So I just like to see more iteration on this and see what else they can do with it, because I think, if this is the aesthetic and sound and songwriting that they can manage now, just keep up that standard, and a lot of old school death metal fans will really enjoy that. So you can read a little bit more of a review on the site. You can check out the album. It's out now, and you can buy the tape directly from the band on Bandcamp.